Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello. The cold front that brought us a wet Wednesday is making its exit. So Thursday, clearing skies, cool temperatures. We will gradually trend warmer through the weekend, and with that, some additional showers this weekend. So temperature-wise, Thursday is the coolest day ahead of us, about 10 degrees below average. Then by Sunday on the mild side, but the next cold front rolls through Sunday into Monday. Overnight period, the coolest one ahead of us is Thursday to Friday, approaching 40 for Charleston, looking east toward Lewisburg, Marlton, Snowshoe for some frosty conditions in that time frame. So at 7 p.m., the cold front is exiting to the southeast, pushing widespread wet weather with it in that direction. Still some lingering showers behind the system in the overnight hours, but not as much for actual accumulating rainfall. During the day Thursday, decreasing clouds, a low chance of additional showers, mostly in the mountains. I think a lot of what you see other areas will be evaporating before it reaches the surface. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. Behind this front, a lot of areas east and southeast of West Virginia will be looking at a drying trend on Friday and a warming trend heading into the weekend. Panhandle, the Panhandle forecast, generally bottoming out in the low to mid 40s, looking north tonight, then highs here, 59 New Cumberland Thursday, 63 Moundsville. More commonly in mid to upper 40s overnight going east with a few lingering showers. We'll have highs tapping into some mid 60s still towards, say, Martinsburg for our Thursday. Elsewhere, mid and upper 40s are common tonight. Still a few showers out there from Elkins to Ripley, then upper 50s to mid 60s for our Thursday, and ending south where we'll see mid 40s to near 50 overnight. A few showers still possible. Drying out on Thursday with decreasing clouds and upper 50s to mid 60s. Quiet on Friday with temperatures getting a bit closer to average. Then additional showers Saturday. Next round, Sunday to Monday.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, three.
Rag 57! Rag 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline moving right along with the week Wednesday night. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Weeks, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe, we're all here. A lot to do. 9,000 fans turned up for the WVU Marshall baseball game last night, won by the Mountaineers. And, Brad, your guy Gavin Kelly had a big night.
How about that? He appears on 3 guys before the game on Monday and then goes out on Tuesday and was just lights out, including 2 home runs against the Herd to complete the season sweep. So Gavin, along with others, were very good.
So you know what? They're going to be fighting to get on that show because Schoenfeld had a home run the game too. After that he was on.
Yeah, that was our show.
That was this show.
Oh, okay. Well, they should just happy to be on the air because we're the good luck charm.
Yeah, it's the opposite of the SI cover gents. Yeah. So we've got that. Plus, as you mentioned, Gavin Kelly was on 3 guys before the game. We are going to hear some comments from that if you haven't had an opportunity to go through it yet. The big news today, though, was an NCAA tournament berth for the WVU golf team. The Mountaineer golf team returning to the NCAA regionals, and they will play in Arizona, the Gallery Golf Club in Marana, Arizona. And the regional begins May 18th. So there's a team banquet tonight. We're going to try to get someone on to talk about that, but they weren't available tonight. I think we're scheduled to be joined by Coach Sean Covich tomorrow night live. But in the meantime, we'll hear some of the comments from Coach Covich and also one of the golfers as well, who was also on this show earlier this season, Kaleb Wilson. We'll get some comments from him after West Virginia gets into the NCAA Golf Regional.
Yeah, well deserved. And we talked, they came out of that Mountaineer Invitational and felt really good about their positioning, even though the Big 12 championship didn't go like they wanted it to, but they did enough there throughout the season, and certainly that push at the end over what was a field, guys, we talked about at the time, that was very NCAA regional-esque when you looked at who came into Bridgeport to play at Pete Dye Golf Club. So happy for that team to get back into the regionals here and have a chance to go on to the national portion of that. And the nice thing, guys, is they get to stay at home and play at a Big 12 conference site. So they're not having to go too far. Just go to Arizona, just like a normal Big 12 site. So they're in home country. They're 5 hours away.
Arizona is the host of that regional, although they're not the top seed. Oklahoma State, out of the Big 12, is the top seed. So Oklahoma State, the number 1, LSU, the number 2 seed, Arizona, the number 3 seed, Alabama, the 4, Duke, the 5, Clemson, the 6. So if in West Virginia, by the way, is the 9th seed in that regional. If you sense a trend, there's an awful lot of teams from the eastern part of the United States headed to Arizona for that regional.
You got to send somebody out there, I guess. So West Virginia Pirates. So now the goal for West Virginia is obviously to qualify. Top 5 teams in the regional qualify for the nationals, which will be in Carlsbad, California. Now, West Virginia did qualify there, what was that, 2 years ago?
2 years ago,
to get to the nationals. So that's what West Virginia is. That's their goal as they go to Tucson, Mariana, whatever you want to call it. It's right outside of Tucson.
Really amazing, guys. We've talked about this so much with this program, but what Sean's been able to do since restarting this thing to get it to this point, that 2 out of 3 years you're in this position here to compete for a national championship. So just incredible where they've brought this program to.
So all the way to Arizona, and it's kind of interesting, and we can have Coach Covich, when we have some time with him tomorrow, kind of explain how all of this works. But you know, we all became amateur golf bracketologists for at least an hour today. And there were regional sites in Columbus and also in Virginia. And you wonder, well, wouldn't that be easier or simple? You get on a bus and bus 3.5 hours to Columbus, where you look at that regional and the top 10 or 11 seeds were all from out of the area. So teams that have to fly in there. But as they explained on the Golf Channel today, location doesn't mean near as much as the seed lines do.
Yeah, I think it was clear the committee knew there would be more discussion around it if they changed people off seed lines to keep them close regionally, and instead went with those seeds being the most important than sending you to different areas. And again, this is easier travel. This isn't moving football teams or basketball teams necessarily. These are smaller groups that are moving and decided to make that move. But again, West Virginia, it's in Big 12 country. You can't complain too much.
That's true. And again, 2 other Big 12 teams in that regional, Oklahoma State and Arizona.
Yeah, and again, Big 12 and SEC are the ones that are dominating. The ACC has a nice contingent as well. So you've got everybody that's pretty much Eastern based. So somebody's got to go out west a little bit. So it's, again, West Virginia, when they qualified 2 years ago, did so out of a Western regional. So that's fine. Well and good. See what you can do. You got to move up a couple of spots, several spots, but it's not certainly outside the realm to move from 9 to 5. Now, Oklahoma State's the defending national champions. They're at the top of that list. But, you know, Brad, West Virginia finished ahead of Oklahoma State in the Mountaineer Invitational. Clemson, which is also in that regional, was the one who won it.
Yeah.
Well, again, you don't have to beat Oklahoma State. You just got to finish in that top 5. And how good was the Big 12 this year? 12 of the 16 teams qualified for the golf regionals. There's at least one Big 12 team in every regional, including 3 in the Arizona regional. There's 3 in the Texas regional with TCU, Colorado, and Cincinnati. There's 2 in the Athens, Georgia regional with BYU and Kansas. There's 2 in the Columbus regional with Arizona State and Utah, and also in the Virginia regional, Houston is an 11th seed in that, Texas Tech in the Corvallis, Oregon regional. So 12 of the 16 Big 12 teams qualified for regionals. I found it somewhat interesting that one of the teams that didn't qualify was Central Florida. How are you not any good at golf? I mean, you can play 36 holes a day, 365 days a year in Florida. you'd think that they'd be near the top.
Well, remember, you can also be good and not even touch this league. We've said many times that's probably the best league that the Big 12 has, and that's saying something because there's a lot of quality sports in this conference. But golf might be right near the top of the list, as evidenced by 12 of the 16 getting in there.
So again, that golf regional begins later this month. The Mountaineers, the number 9 seed in the Arizona regional, and if you finish in the top 5, that's May 18th through 20th. If you qualify for the NCAA Golf Championships, May 28th through June 2nd. So we'll get into that. Let's spend a minute on West Virginia Marshall. Coming up, Tyler Barnette's going to join us, and we'll focus in a little bit on the Kansas series. He was available tonight, so we grabbed him to look ahead to West Virginia's first-place showdown at Kansas Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But so many good things, and again, this team's playing really, really well. All of a sudden, the power has come on. They hit 3 more home runs last night, 2 by Kelly and 1 by Einich. So that's 8 home runs in 3 games for a team that coming into that stretch, it hit a total of 35 the previous games.
Yeah, and this is a team that, as you said, wasn't known for power, but they were known for pitching and just generating runs somewhat the old-fashioned way, with speed on the bases and just lots of base hits. But continuing, again, their run production has gotten back to where it was earlier in the season. But the one thing that's really been evident was so again last night with David Hagan having a real quality start. They've gotten in the last week and a half really good pitching lately. And, Maxio back in the rotation, Brad, and we'll see him this weekend at Kansas. But that's what they've leaned on most of the year and continues to be evident through the last 4 games especially.
Hagan was really good again. Yeah. And how about him? He started all 3 games against Marshall this season, right? Went a couple innings in each and then got 5 in last night. He was outstanding. The difference in these 3 games, guys, and it was evident again last night, West Virginia outscored Marshall 12-2 in the first 3 innings of these 3 games. So jumped on them early, and Marshall was never able to climb back in it. You mentioned the power surge. Gavin Kelly now 4 home runs in 3 games, so he's starting to pound the ball a little bit more. And this thing has come together at the perfect time as they're heading to Kansas with this showdown. Yeah. But the last week, Kyle, as you just mentioned, pitching's been great, but the hitting has been outstanding. Now the power's coming along with the rest of the things, so they're in top form right now.
Actually, those home run totals, they'd hit 27 home runs in the first 40 games, and they've hit 8 in the last 3, so a total of 35 home runs for West Virginia, which is still last in the league, but you have to be happy that has become somewhat of a weapon. I mean, you've got the ability now. There's a couple of guys on this team that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, including Gavin Kelly with 10 home runs on the season.
Brad, ask you this in terms of the power numbers. We're not in the heat of summer, so I know in the major leagues they'll talk about the ball starting to fly a lot more when the temperatures get up. But certainly it's warmer than it was a couple months ago when the season started. Is that an explanation or just swings going better?
Yeah, probably swings just going better because it's not like the weather's significantly better than it was earlier. I would, if I'm making a guess on that, I'd say guys are just finding their groove here at the end of the season. They're dialed in. The scouting reports are there. And in Marshall's situation, you've seen that team a couple of different times now, so it might be just some familiarity as well.
And confidence. And quite frankly, opponent adjusted. I mean, Kansas State and Marshall is 2 teams that you should score a lot of runs and win, and they did that. I mean, they got the job done. All right, so coming up, we'll focus in on the golf regional as we'll hear from Kaleb Wilson and from WVU head coach Sean Covich. Text line is open, 304-TALK-304. That is the number to reach us on the text line. This is the CityNet statewide sports line. CityNet Fiber is built for the way West Virginia lives and works, from streaming at home to running your business. You can check your address and get started today at citynet.net. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sportsline for Thursday, 304 Talk 304. That's the number to call. Kyle, Greg, and Brad with you on the day. The WVU golf team gets their NCAA tournament bid headed to Arizona. So what did the coach have to say? Coach Sean Covich. He started off by complimenting his senior, Kaleb Wilson, who's had a tremendous season and is a great leader. And he's helped lead this team to the NCAA tournament.
Caleb's a very disciplined, hardworking. He's kind of a professional golfer now. The way he goes about his business, he's very mature, and I think that's rubbed off on the rest of the guys and why we've had success. But yeah, Caleb's been there before. He's there as a sophomore. He knows what regionals feels like when you get in the mix right on that cut line. And I think he thrives in that kind of environment. So his experience being there before, hopefully he can tell the guys what to expect. It's really about the emotions you're going to feel and just kind of fight through that and just remember it's just golf.
So an opportunity for Kaleb Wilson to go out as a senior, an individual who's played in the NCAA tournament and advanced in the NCAA tournament, leading the way.
Yeah, he's got the experience, and we had him on the show. What a good interview he was. So you can see where he'd be a calming influence on this group, but that's still a big stage, guys. You go out there and you get in that moment in an unfamiliar course in an unfamiliar area, so be a big challenge, but it's fun. That's cool that they're competing in this.
So you've got Kaleb Wilson, Nick Tarowski, a sophomore, and then the freshman, Jack Michael, who's also been on the show from Cabell Midland High School. Those have been the guys that have been in the top 6 for this club all season long. Another one from Sean Covich here. He talked about how the spring season was launched by a tremendous fall season that this team had.
Everything you do matters. From the first tournament in September to the last Big 12 championship, it all goes into the rankings, so everything you do matters. Obviously, people pay attention to golf, probably more so late spring, because that's, when the Masters comes on, conference championships, NCAA championship. But yeah, what we did back in September and October is huge. And I think it just proved to the guys they had what it took to win tournaments. And it's hard to win in our sport. You compete against 16, 17, 18 teams each tournament. So to come out on top 3 times, it's the most we've ever won in 1 year. So, yeah, it's we either finish first, second, or third, or, towards the bottom. And that's just kind of been our year. But honestly, that's all that's going to matter this next week. Like, you're either going to be top 5 or not. And just like right now, there's 2 types of teams. Those are at the NCAA tournament, tie for first at regionals, and those seasons are over, and our season's going to keep going. So excited about that.
So they won a lot in the spring, and that certainly helped.
Other way around, won a lot in the fall, and then carried over.
I'm sorry, yeah.
It's pretty crazy, though. We kind of forget how that season is a little bit different, right? And he said it right there. All of it matters, and they were off to that blistering hot start in the fall where they racked up some of those wins there, and that carried them over into this spring season, where Sean has said they didn't quite live up to the expectations that were set in that fall, but they did enough over a full body of work to get themselves in.
And one more from Sean Covich. The last time, a couple of years ago, when West Virginia sat through the selection show, there's 6 regions, and of course, like they do the NCAA basketball tournament show, they break it up, and it lasts almost the entire hour. So the last time West Virginia was included in the 6th and final region that was released, this year it was a little bit the opposite. They were included in the 2nd regional, and they put all 14 teams up on the regional at the same time. So, you speed read a little bit. The point is it was much quicker. West Virginia found out this year much quicker that they were in compared to 2 seasons ago.
Well, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Greg, you're sitting in that room.
No drama.
Get it up there on the screen and know that we're in.
So the Athens region was announced first, and then the Arizona region, which included West Virginia. So very little drama today for Coach Covich and the golf team.
Every time I come in this room, I get nervous just because of what happened a couple years ago. I guess we were one of the last teams in, but we also proved, you can make it to nationals. We made it to the national championship that year, being the last team in. But, yeah, when we popped up, I guess the 2nd out of 6 sites, I was like, yeah, that's nice. I didn't want to have to sweat this one out.
Quick word this year. So that's good. Headed for the regional. All right, how about senior Kaleb Wilson? And, again, competing in the NCAA tournament for the 2nd time in 3 years, and he talked about his role and the veteran golfers' roles in building this program up.
We're just trying to create a culture of success, and I think that starts with the things that we're doing right now. Going as an individual is fun, but it's nothing compared to going as a team, and I learned that sophomore and junior year, so I couldn't be happier to be going with this group of guys.
So the Mountaineers qualifying as a team, and you heard Coach Covich talk about the ups and downs. You either finish in the top 3 or kind of struggle a bit like they did at the Big 12 tournament, and Kaleb Wilson had some thoughts on that.
I think it's staying with our game plan. Sometimes we kind of, let the bad golf play too much effect into us, and I know that we're capable of taking our emotions out of it, and that's what we're really good at. That's what we've been really good at. That's what we were really good at the fall. That's what we were really good at in the Mountaineer. So if we just stick to our game plan and just play with confidence, we're going to be okay.
And continuing with that thought, one more from Kaleb Wilson, just relax, go out and play.
There's no reason not to be confident. I think a lot of teams put excessive pressure on themselves knowing that only 5 teams qualify, but it's just like any other golf tournament. If we go play our game, like I just said, and play with confidence, we're going to be okay.
Mountaineer senior golfer Kaleb Wilson.
And West Virginia's played all over in the past, but it is a different type of golf course out in Arizona when you're playing in the desert and what they're going to face. So you do have to adjust a little bit compared to what they've seen in this area and in the eastern part of the United States.
Yeah, I hope they get off to a good start. You know, that was one of the challenges at the Big 12 tournament. They had such a rough first day that it was really hard to come back from that, not only just get your score down, but that's where the mental games start to play for you. And so if this group can get off to a good start in day one and be around it, I think that serves as a great springboard for them.
Bounce back on the second day at the Big 12 after that bit of a rough start on day one. All right, coming up, we'll focus on the Mountaineers. We'll hear from Gavin Kelly. Coming up, Tyler Barnette of ESPN Plus will join us. We'll look ahead to the series this weekend against Kansas State. This is the CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan. We are here for you.
WVU Medicine is home to West Virginia's first and only multi-organ transplant center, making heart and kidney transplants at an academic medical center a reality for people across the state and region. Whether you've struggled with advanced heart failure or kidney disease, the WVU Medicine Transplant Alliance helps people like you find hope and healing on their journey to better health. Visit wvumedicine.org/transplant to learn more.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello. The cold front that brought us a wet Wednesday is making its exit. So Thursday, clearing skies, cool temperatures. We will gradually trend warmer through the weekend, and with that, some additional showers this weekend. So temperature-wise, Thursday is the coolest day ahead of us, about 10 degrees below average. Then by Sunday on the mild side, but the next cold front rolls through Sunday into Monday. Overnight period, the coolest one ahead of us is Thursday to Friday, approaching 40 for Charleston, looking east toward Lewisburg, Marlinton, Snowshoe for some frosty conditions in that time frame. So at 7 p.m., the cold front is exiting to the southeast, pushing widespread wet weather with it in that direction. Still some lingering showers behind the system in the overnight hours, but not as much for actual accumulating rainfall. During the day Thursday, decreasing clouds, a low chance of additional showers, mostly in the mountains. I think a lot of what you see other areas will be evaporating before it reaches the surface. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. Behind this front, a lot of areas east and southeast of West Virginia will be looking at a drying trend on Friday and a warming trend heading into the weekend. Panhandle, the Panhandle forecast, generally bottoming out in the low to mid 40s, looking north tonight, then highs here, 59 New Cumberland Thursday, 63 Moundsville. More commonly in mid to upper 40s overnight going east with a few lingering showers. We'll have highs tapping into some mid 60s still towards St. Martinsburg for our Thursday. Elsewhere, mid and upper 40s are common tonight. Still a few showers out there from Elkins to Ripley, then upper 50s to mid 60s for our Thursday, and ending south where we'll see mid 40s to near 50 overnight. A few showers still possible. Drying out on Thursday with decreasing clouds and upper 50s to mid 60s. Quiet on Friday with temperatures getting a bit closer to average. Then additional showers Saturday. Next round, Sunday to Monday.
CityNet statewide sports line. Tyler Barnette, ESPN Plus, coming up in just a few minutes. We'll preview the West Virginia-Kansas series. Last night, WVU defeated Marshall in Charleston 7-2. Crowd of 9,302 attended the contest. You talked about David Hagan pitching 5 innings, getting his 4th win of the year. Gavin Kelly, 2 home runs in the game, and he threw out Batone stealing. It was the first time he had been thrown out all year. He was 9 for 9.
You can't run on Gavin. Kyle, what are you doing? Marshall.
Well, they learned that. So earlier this week, Gavin Kelly, a guest on Three Guys Before the Game. If you haven't dived into it, it's still there, obviously, at the website. All the podcast platforms you can find it. But Gavin Kelly with some interesting comments, and one of the things was he was asked, all right, would you rather steal a base yourself or throw somebody out?
Would you rather steal a base or throw a guy out trying to steal?
Good question.
Throw a guy out. Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a runner out and just looked toward him when he was jogging back and say, sit your ass down? You ever said that before?
No, I can't say
Have you ever thought that?
I mean, yeah, there's been – actually, I got a good story. So at Arizona State this year, a guy got hit and –
Really didn't get hit?
No, it didn't get hit. And umpire wore him the bag, and I was
upset.
Yeah, I was very, very mad with the umpire not like asking his other crew to just asking if it hit him or not. And so I was talking to him in not a nice manner, like I just was saying, and not trying to get him on our side. And the guy stole. I threw him out, and I said, ball doesn't lie.
See, ball don't lie. Ball don't lie.
There you go, baby.
I immediately apologized, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
Did he give you any? Did he say it's okay,
polite.
or did he just pretend?
He was like,
might have gotten run.
Yeah, you better be, or something. It was something.
Threatened him. Said you better be sorry.
The umpire did?
Yeah.
Should have retracted it right there.
Ball
Good.
don't
Ball don't
lie.
lie.
Yeah. That's one of Brad's favorites.
Love ball don't lie. How about that? Ball don't lie, Gavin. But then the umpire smarted him off.
Well, yeah.
I would have retracted it right there, Wiggs. I would have said, okay, I'm not sorry. You blew the call the first time. I had to fix your mistake.
Yeah, fix your mistake. Exactly. Yeah, that's got to be one of the greatest feelings a baseball player on the field throwing someone out.
That's a great point.
Whether it comes from right field or behind the plate, like throwing somebody out.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's great to hit a dinger, but those happen. Throwing guys out doesn't happen a whole lot, and then it's such a direct attack on you as a catcher, right? When they take it. And a lot of you steal it on the pitcher, I get it, but it's still saying, I don't think it's man on man. I don't think you can get it here before I get here. So yeah, I think that's a great point, Kyle. That's a great one-on-one matchup there.
So in terms of hitting dingers, Gavin Kelly is one of the hottest players in the country with 2 home runs last night. And obviously, he's stepping to the plate these days with great confidence.
All right, let's talk about that improvement. So you're one of the best hitters in the Big 12 average-wise, lead the team in home runs, walked more than you've struck out. So you've gone deeper in counts, but you're not striking out necessarily anymore. What's been the switch? Is it all confidence? Is it more strength? What's different for you at the plate this year?
It's definitely confidence. I mean, I knew what I could do in this league and what I can do at every level. And last year was definitely, I guess, a misunderstanding. But I'd say this year it's more so whenever I do get deep into counts, I was like, my heart rate would get up and I'd have like the fear of striking out. Like now I get there, and I don't want to say like it's like I'm a seasoned veteran, but I definitely know and understand like how I operate and what it takes for myself to be successful.
I thought that was a really mature and great way to explain what happens and why guys get better. We always say that. Well, you got to play games. You go through, you play games, you're a veteran, you come back, you know what you're doing. I thought that was a pretty good explanation of it by saying last year as a freshman, he had a really good year, hitting near 300, 299. So he was really good as a freshman. But that has taken a step forward, and he mentioned it there. That fear of striking out, Greg, when you get to 2 strikes and that's what you're thinking about, well, you're in some trouble right away, where this year you can tell, and he goes on to talk about it a little bit more, when he gets 2 strikes on him now or gets deeper into that count, it's like, all right, keep coming. I still got confidence. I'm not only going to put the ball in play, I'm going to still be able to drive the ball, which he's done this year, raising that average nearly 100 points from where he was last year.
Does show his own expectations of himself. As you said, he had a great freshman year. He hit 299, and he acts like he was about 189. So, because I've talked to him before about that. And, didn't have a great year. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, he's closer to where he thinks he should be now, hitting near 400, leads the team with 10 home runs. I mean, you're starting to see more of the full Gavin Kelly this year.
Well, the numbers across the board are up. Not only up, they're up exponentially. You mentioned the batting average, 394 from 299. The extra base hits are way up. He finished last year with a total of 6 doubles. This year he's already got 16. He finished last year with a total of 2 home runs. He's in double figures this year. The RBI total is up. And as you mentioned, the strikeouts are down. More walks and hit by pitch, 34 of those combined compared to 28 strikeouts this year. And last year he walked a total of 22 times. So he's already been on base via walk or hit batter 34 times.
And we say it's true in every sport, but maybe the most so when you're hitting in baseball. That confidence just changes everything. And if you don't have it and you're not ready to go, you just in those split seconds you have to decide whether to swing, whether to not swing, whether to try and drive it, it throws the whole thing off. And there was a couple different answers where we asked questions and it came back as the answer was, well, it's just confidence. I mean, his skills haven't necessarily changed a whole lot. It's just simply his approach and his belief in himself when he gets in the box.
One more from Gavin Kelly. He was asked by Hoppy, what are you thinking when you're at the plate? How do you process what's coming from the pitcher?
So when you're hitting, how often do you know? What is your confidence level on what pitch is coming next?
I mean, there's definitely, like, I guess you could say, like, a feel throughout the game of, like, how they're attacking you and what they're trying to do to get you out. But for me, my approach is just going up there, being on time for the fastball, and then adjusting to anything else.
Okay.
Hold on one second before can I jump in here?
Yeah,
real quick? How much has catching more helped you at the plate in terms of thinking along with the pitcher, or does that not factor in and you don't do that? You try and keep it simpler at the plate.
Yeah, I'd say I try to keep it simple and stick to my approach that my coaches and the scouting reporters help make. But I'd say catching has helped me, like, understand the strike zone better and know what the strike zone is that day that the umpire is calling.
I thought that was a pretty good point there late. Interesting that he doesn't think along with the game, like what would be coming. So he's not so much guessing, he takes that out, but the awareness of what the strike zone is that particular day. Because as we know, it's not the same strike zone every day, Coach Hunter. It moves based on who the umpire is, but he thinks that's helped him quite a bit at the plate.
When we talked about this last night, but, Paul Schoenfeld's playing so well also. Those two guys batting, one right behind the other are certainly a huge asset. We saw that last night against Marshall as well. Base open, a lot of times you'd pitch around Gavin Kelly, but they couldn't because you got Schoenfeld coming up right behind him. So you got to attack one, and then Schoenfeld's coming up with Kelly usually on base in front of him. I mean, that's a duo. And again, there are other big ingredients on this team, but those two back-to-back are making opponents just sweat.
Well, Kyle, it's a story as old as the game. If you have somebody behind you that can hit, right, you're getting better pitches to hit, and that's certainly true for Gavin, and he would say that about Schoenfeld hitting behind him, no doubt.
Mountaineers headed for Kansas. And by the way, I peeked a little bit at some of the NCAA projections for whatever it's worth, which isn't much at this point. But obviously West Virginia, a number 2 seed by all of the projections. USA Today has them going to the Myrtle Beach Regional with Coastal Carolina as the host. West Virginia, the 2 seed with Eastern Illinois and Campbell. A couple of the other projections have them going to the Starkville Regional with Mississippi State, the number 1 seed. D1 Baseball has Mississippi State, West Virginia, Michigan, and Southeast Louisiana. Baseball America has Mississippi State, West Virginia, East Carolina, and Army.
West Virginia's not the host there at Coastal Carolina, down in Myrtle?
Myrtle Beach. You'll have a bigger crowd. Yeah. So everybody in West Virginia will be there. We know that.
So you're in a pretty good position, but you've got a massive 6 games coming up here. I mean, you could change that significantly over the next couple of weeks.
3 at Kansas and 3 at home against TCU.
I know we're going to talk to Tyler Barnette here in a second. I know he's sort of the resident bracketologist in a lot of ways.
RPI guy.
Yeah, you have to see what he thinks West Virginia needs to do to get a regional host.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to win a lot of games in the very few that are left, but I'll be interested to see what he thinks.
We'll take a break. We'll hear from Tyler coming up as the CityNet statewide sports line continues.
We are there for you, to care for you at We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind. I forgot
and
about
onions.
this. Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Wednesday night on the Sportsline. Thanks for joining us. Kyle, Greg, and Brad with you, joined by Tyler Barnette of MetroNews and ESPN Plus. And Tyler will be watching with the rest of us this weekend as West Virginia plays at Kansas. And he'll be back on the mic next week when the Mountaineers host TCU to close out the regular season. Tyler, good evening. How are you?
Hey, Kyle. How's it going?
Doing well. Well, last time you were on here, you said West Virginia needs to wake up with the bats. And boy, have they ever over the course of the last 4 games. Your thoughts on what you've seen and how this team has improved offensively and gained some confidence along the way.
Yeah, I really think that Kansas or that Cincinnati series was an eye opener for the offense. At Sunday game, you left the bases loaded twice in that game, and then gave up the 5-run inning to Cincinnati to drop the series, and then turned things around pretty quickly and really showed Kansas State what the team was capable of offensively, and then continued that again to Marshall. And to be completely honest, you're going to need offense this weekend whenever you go into Lawrence.
Need offense, but West Virginia's pitching, especially lately, but really all season, has been outstanding, and certainly getting Maxiell back has been key. How much does that change when you get your elite pitcher back? But it's just one start in a week, but is it psychological as much as physical?
It is. Yeah, I think there is a psychological component to it, but man, whenever you get Maxiell back in the rotation, that is a heavy hand. that you can play. And I mean, there were some pitches that he made last weekend. When you look at the analytics of it, 18 inches of horizontal break, so that means that the ball is moving 18 inches from side to side. The plate's only 17 inches wide in itself. So, I mean, those are just disgusting pitches. And whenever you can get that on Friday night, you're going to need it, especially against Dominic Vogel of Kansas, who, along with West Virginia's Chance and Cole, are the co-pitchers of the week.
By the way, good job bringing some of those analytics in there. I like that, Tyler. Well done. Hey, let's get into this Kansas stuff. What's made them so good, especially over the last 2 years, but in particular this year, as they're a few games ahead here in the Big 12 standings?
Oh, I mean, looking at the base of things, I think they recruit really well. Kansas is a hotbed for JUCO baseball, and that's what Kansas does. They, Coach Fitzgerald really recruits JUCO guys, a lot of JUCO guys in the lineup. I mean, you just look at the middle of the field. You've got catcher, and forgive me on this because it's a fun one, Augusto Mungarita.
Very good.
That was good.
I don't know if you're right, but it's impressive.
Hey, all you got to do is add the flair, and then it sounds correct. He's got 12 home runs behind the plate, and then you got Tyson LeBlanc, who's your shortstop, and he leads the team with 16 home runs. I mean, anytime you have a middle infielder who can lead your team in home runs, like Kansas State with Deke Kennedy, you've got a weapon there. And then center fielder Tyson Owens has 10 home runs. So, I mean, you're looking at a Kansas team who really swings the bat. West Virginia as a team has 35 home runs. Kansas as a team has 83 home runs. I mean, so that's just a massive difference. So West Virginia's pitching is really going to come into play this weekend.
But we've said that every single time we've had you on to preview a team, Tyler. You've got every team has doubled West Virginia's home run total, and you're right. West Virginia's hit 8 home runs in 3 games, and they still only have 35. But it's a testament to what they do. You can win games creating offense in other ways.
Yeah, I was talking to Kansas State's pitching coach on Sunday, and he said, he goes, they don't extra base hit you to death. He goes, it's just singles, and then they just keep ripping off these singles, and then your pitcher loses confidence, and all of a sudden, if he misses the plate a couple of times, now you've given up a free base, and they're running, and that's what West Virginia does, is they just create chaos on the bases. Whether with it's just a bunch of singles in a row, some walks mixed in, a couple of hit batters, now all of a sudden you're bunting and you're stealing, and you've got the defense pulled out of position. So it's kind of like the Steve Saban's coaching school of find what your team does best and just keep doing it until the other team stops you. There was a point last weekend against Kansas State where they bunted 3 times in a row because Kansas State just didn't field the bunt. So if you can find a weakness in the other team, just exploit it.
So, Tyler, you're our resident bracketologist, as I said before you came
on. And RPI
on.
expert.
Yeah. So, Kyle went through the numbers, and West Virginia looks like a solid number 2 seed as we come down the end of the regular season. What would it take to get an opportunity to be a 1 seed and a regional host? Is that out of the realm, or is it a long shot? How can they get there?
I think it's a long shot. I think if you sweep Kansas, you have a really good shot of getting up there. You sweep Kansas and you sweep TCU. West Virginia needs a little bit of help too. I mean, TCU is sitting at 51, and they're going to have TCU at home. So when you look at that number 51, you really need TCU to jump into the top 50, so that it turns into a quad 2 win versus a quad 3 win. But as things look right now, Warren Nolan has West Virginia predicted. He has them sitting at 23 in the RPI, which is where they are, but he has them predicted at 28. So that's kind of the Ken Pom of the baseball world. And what he looks at is tendencies, and he has West Virginia getting swept by Kansas and winning 2 of 3 at TCU next weekend, ending up as a 28 seed. Now, one of the things that you kind of have to look at, too, on the other side is Kansas just dropped a game last night to Creighton in extra innings. So that's a quad 2 loss for Kansas. They were on the bubble of we're not talking like them hosting a regional. We're talking about them hosting a super regional. So if they can get in that top 8, then now you're not only talking about a regional coming to Lawrence, but you're talking about super regional in Lawrence. That's what Kansas is shooting for. So you're going to try to come in and play spoiler to Kansas like they did for you a couple of years ago when West Virginia was toying with, are they on the bubble? Are they an 18 or are they a 16? And Kansas went in and swept West Virginia in Morgantown. West Virginia's going to try to do the same thing this weekend at Kansas.
Yeah, good. Time for a little payback right there. Tyler, before you came on, we were talking a lot about Gavin Kelly, who was a guest on Three Guys Before the Game this week, and just the fantastic year that he has had. You saw the flashes last year. You saw the potential that was there last year, but he's just exploded this year and is having one of the best years in the country. What have you seen out of Gavin Kelly this year, both at the plate and in the field?
I think it goes a lot to his confidence. You talk about the sophomore slump a little bit. I think he's jumped that sophomore slump because he's he's one of those guys that, okay, I've seen this before. I'm comfortable. And he talked on that podcast about his dad having that sports psychology background. That sports psychology is massive in baseball. I mean, baseball is such a head game. And for him to have those mature responses as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, I mean, that is just incredible, and that speaks to why he's having that jump. And plus, I mean, the guy falls out of bed and finds barrels. So, I mean, it's easy whenever you're finding barrels like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned Kansas. They did have a 10-game winning streak snapped with that non-conference loss to Creighton in extra innings. I believe it was a 13-inning game, but they've won 8 conference games in a row, back-to-back sweeps over Arizona and Kansas State, and they won the final 2 games against Oklahoma State. So they're playing well. It's going to be really difficult. But last thing for you, I mean, West Virginia has found the 3 pitchers they're going to go with, Yale, Cole, and Montesa in the weekend. And that last night was the last non-conference game. So David Hagan could potentially be a big piece of the bullpen going forward too.
Yeah, West Virginia really needed David Hagan to step up and throw some innings because you have to know who's that 4th or 5th guy that you can throw in the conference tournament if you need to, or in a regional if you need to. And it's David Hagan stepped up. You've got Ian Korn who started last week. Whenever Max Yale was down. So you found a couple of guys. I think West Virginia is comfortable with 4 to 5 different starters, and that's what you need whenever you want to make a postseason run like this.
Tyler, great information again. We appreciate it, and enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll see you back behind the mic next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Tyler Barnette there, WVU baseball analyst for ESPN Plus, as West Virginia heads for Kansas. And first place showdown, Mountaineers tied for second with Arizona State, but again, Kansas has been on this amazing run, 10 straight wins going into last night, and 8 straight conference victories for Kansas.
Big series, but it shows you what's so fun about baseball. There's different ways to score runs, Greg. Don't all have to do it the same way. And if you compare that, it's almost like a team in Kansas that's really proficient in the three-point shot, right? And when you're hitting home runs, you're hitting threes, the offense comes pretty easy. But if you can keep those home runs in check, keep that ball from flying out of the park, now the advantage flips the other way for West Virginia, maybe to create some chaos on the bases.
Yeah, Kansas has a 4-game lead over the Mountaineers and Arizona State in terms of the Big 12 regular season. So they've got to be looking at this series as their opportunity to lock up a regular season title. And for West Virginia, again, long ways to go, but really the number is for West Virginia is to finish in the top 5 in the league, because everybody in the top 5 gets an automatic berth by into the conference quarterfinals. So that's one less pitcher. You can use your regular 3 weekend pitchers and get through that conference tournament if you make that run.
You would also hope, and Kansas is playing great ball, but so was West Virginia last year in the same exact situation, but reversed. But it was a little bit of pressure got to you, right? You talk about Kansas is playing not only for regional to super regional. Don't just assume that they're okay with that and they're good with that and that pushes them over the top. Now, maybe it does. Maybe they go out and handle West Virginia, but that's also a lot of load to carry for a non-traditional baseball program that isn't used to being in this position. That could also work against you.
Talked a lot of baseball today, talked a lot of golf. We got a text question on basketball. 304-TALK-304. Texter asked, Brad, do you think West Virginia's team offensively will play more up-tempo, open and transition with Miles Sadler at the point.
Yeah, I think they will. And again, this is still going to be predicated on defense. You still win in this league with defense. But yes, I think it will be a faster pace. Ross has talked about that, and you have to look at your personnel. Last year with a Jasper Floyd and a Harlan Obioha, their skill set was not to run up and down the floor. That wasn't what they were good at. It was better to control pace. You start to look at these guys you're putting out there now. Lead with Miles Sandler, who's as fast as a speedy wide receiver on the football team with a 4.4 40 up and down the floor. And then you put a guy like Mo Silla that can run and Josan Sannon that can get up and down the floor. This team is built more to get up and down the floor a little bit. And they'll pick their spots. It's not going to be run with reckless abandon, but yes, I do think the pace picks up a little bit this year.
So a little bit more tempo.
How good is Sadler defensively in your watching of him?
When he wants to guard, he can guard. I mean, in that high school level, and you're so good offensively that he didn't have to guard every possession. I have a feeling he'll be a guy that's going to turn into a sneaky good defender once that becomes a priority as he gets here.
All right, back tomorrow with more. We're scheduled try to lock it down for sure, but we're scheduled to be joined by WVU golf coach Sean Covich, and we'll get into him a little deeper with this NCAA tournament regional bid the golf team was awarded today. A little bit more on this West Virginia-Kansas baseball series as well. Guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow.
That is the CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios. Thanks for listening and watching on Metro News.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.